The Agriculture Minister sets out a range of actions to tackle the pollution problems at Lough Neagh, but some say he hasn't gone far enough. Now, a series of measures has been announced to try to tackle the pollution problems in Lough Neagh. The plan announced by Agriculture and Environment Minister Andrew Muir has some elements like greater training for slurry spreaders, which can start straight away, but other stronger moves would need full executive approval at Stormont if they're to be introduced. Kevin Sharkey has been having a look.
It's ugly, it's toxic and it's damaging. This algae is clear to see every time it appears on Lough Neagh. Not so clear the solutions. In the Assembly today, one minister identified agriculture as part of the problem.
Put simply, Mr. Speaker, we have a problem with slurry and manures. There's too much of it, and it's part of the cause in terms of nutrient overload in Lough Neagh.
Later, the minister explained that incentives and the threat of enforcement must be part of the solution.
I want to work with the farmers and the agriculture community over the time ahead. I'm not into a blame game, I'm into solutions around these issues, and that's what I'm focused upon. And incentivization is absolutely key in relation to this alongside engagement, so we can invest in the solutions that are required. But regulation and enforcement is also required, and that's why I've set up an enforcement team focused on the Lough Neagh catchment area. But let's be clear, if we have to resort to enforcement, that is a sign of failure.
Politicians here at Stormont are becoming increasingly exercised about Lough Neagh, not least because of the vast expanse of the Lough. With a shoreline of 125 kilometres, it has a role in community life, locally and well beyond its shores. But an absence of joint ministerial action here at Stormont remains a problem.
It is rather unfortunate, however, Minister, that you're making a statement on your own on Lough Neagh without executive buy-in to it. Can you advise me, Minister, you announced there that there were 37 actions, 20 of which are within your own remit, and I understand why you've had to make this statement. But can you give us any indication at all why there isn't buy-in and support for the remaining 17 actions, which obviously require, as you outlined, cross-cutting and other departmental input?
I thank the member for his question. I circulated the Lough Neagh report and action plan. I received some comments. I updated the report to reflect those comments, and I've heard nothing since.
The Lough Neagh Partnership says today's action plan brings forward real and meaningful short and long-term solutions for the sustainability of the Lough. But the partnership has appealed to the executive to approve the plan before the summer recess. Kevin Sharkey, BBC Newsline.
Well, one of the groups who think today's proposals for Lough Neagh don't go nearly far enough is Friends of the Earth. A short time ago, I spoke to its director in Northern Ireland, James Orr, and asked if he feels there is enough action in Andrew Muir's action plan.
It reads like a business-as-usual strategy. We're very disappointed in the strategy, particularly those elements that the executive ought to have approved by this stage as well. And, you know, given the trauma that Lough Neagh has suffered, given the outpouring of national and international grief, what's really interesting about this plan, or lists of ideas, is the fact that the phosphorus levels that triggered the huge poisoning of the Lough, what is called eutrophication of the algal blooms, those phosphorus levels are actually increasing over the last 12 months through new approvals for factory farms, through the defunding of investment in Northern Ireland Water Sewerage Services. So to say that we're disappointed probably isn't strong enough.
But something is obviously holding this up. Something is causing a hesitancy. Call it for us. What is it? What's the problem?
Let's nail this once and for all about what's happening in Lough Neagh. There are major industrial forces in society, from the mining firms to the agri-food corporations. This is not about farming. This is not about small-scale development. These are the most powerful organisations in Northern Ireland, and I believe they're holding the people of Northern Ireland and they're holding Lough Neagh to ransom because of years and years of huge control over the regulation of our environment. For example, Why is it that we don't have an independent environmental protection agency, and why was it lodged within the Department of Agriculture? So what's happening is the Going for Growth strategy, they now call it green growth, how convenient is that, is now dominating the discourse over environmental protection. We also have huge defunding of Northern Ireland Water, particularly the sewage programme in and around Lough Neagh. So these powerful forces need to be called out. Lough Neagh is dying. In fact, a senior official said to me the other day, Lough Neagh isn't dying, Lough Neagh is dead.
James Orr, Director of Friends of the Earth here in Northern Ireland, thank you very much.